What's up, nerds? Still working on this thing. I've gotten a couple things done. You've probably been watching the last video, hopefully. But I got the taillights done since then. And got a couple more parts in. And I got an air filter, but no elbow. So, halfway there. But we still got a ton of stuff to do. So let's get to it. So here's the start of the downpipe. This is 2.5-inch pipe expanded and then smushed. And these are 2-inch pieces. And then here is the header with the flange chopped off. And this is gonna go somewhere down there. And then I got some 2.5 and a muffler that's gonna be going there. Basically just gonna go down the center and then dump wherever. Pretty simple exhaust. So now I'm gonna let this cool because I just dropped those tack welds. And then work my way up. Hopefully get this one tacked in place so I can work on the other side and get them all fitted. So I was able to get this side tacked into place on the car. So that helped hold everything so I could pull it off. And now I'm working on this, except I am one bend short, as you can see. This lines up pretty well. So I just need probably a 45 and cut some weird angles out of it. And it'll fit nicely there. Except I don't have any more, so I'm gonna try to find one locally. So what do you do? That might be the right diameter. I might use that. Clean it up a little bit. Expand it so it's round, and then maybe just pie cut it. We'll see what happens with that. But this fits pretty nice, and then that's gonna go to the rest of the exhaust. And then I've started to pull this apart. Just pulled the fuel tank and a couple of little things off of it. We're putting the 86 cart on the lift for the first time, and we have to strap it down because it is so front heavy without anything in the rear. Dante, lift it. Literally no effort. So we're strapping it down because that's sketchy. And here's the exhaust all tacked in place. I think it looks pretty fucking slick. We got this muffler, which is basically completely straight through with some little baffling on the inside, and then just a little turn down at the end, basically for looks, and that's it. This is probably going to be really, really loud, but I don't know. We'll find out. So now I'm going to pull the steering rack, which I should have pulled before I put the tie rods in, but whatever. Not a big deal. And I'm going to be depowering it since we're not going to be running power steering on the engine, because that's for spoiled rich white women. And here's the steering rack as it sits. So basically, I'm gonna pull this out, pull the main shaft out. So I'll probably have to take one of the tie rods out, slip it out at the end, and then do something inside that I'll show you. We'll figure it out. So it's all apart right now. This is what it looked like before, and this is after just a quick wipe down. And I'm wearing gloves because everything is really dirty. So basically we're going to start by cleaning everything and then work on depowering it. So we're going to carefully cut this off because this is what differentiates power, you know, or the pressure from pushing the rack one way or the other. So we're just going to cut it off. Cut most of the way and then probably just break it off would be the best bet. So that's what we're going to do with that guy there. So there's that chopped off, and started cleaning this up, just wiping it down with a rag, and it got surprisingly clean. So that's good. Just got to clean it a little bit more, test fit everything, and I think we might be missing one of the seals, so I got to check on that, which might not be a big deal because there's not going to be, we're not going to put any fluid in here, just grease. So we might not need a seal. Not sure. To be determined. Guys, we fucked up. What happened, Corey?
Well, you see, I've had this theory for a long time that the pyramids and Illuminati people, they were aliens and stuff, right? So we put the cart outside. It was outside for maybe, 10 minutes? Dude, I see this crazy fucking flash of light it just like beamed down, and they basically tried to pick the 86 cart up. Like they were trying to steal it. It was a fucking like.
But we
orb
stopped them.
ship. Dude, we fucking ran out here. I was like, Matt, help me. Dude, I was hanging on. Yeah. I almost got lifted into a fucking alien UFO, dude. It was fucking nuts. And then eventually they dropped it, and luckily I didn't get crushed. Well, they didn't drop it. They just were like, all right, screw these guys. These guys are assholes. And just kind of like lowered it back down slowly. But yeah, so I mean, it basically got like, you know, almost abducted by aliens, but, you know, we saved it.
This is a true story, by the way. We're definitely not lying.
I'm an expert alien astronaut theorist.
Got it back inside after pressure washing it. I put it on its side so I could pressure wash the bottom really well because it was a little dirty towards the rear. And I also wanted to pressure wash all of the remaining sound deadening material out. So that's mostly gone. It really sucks. It's super sticky. That's all. All the scratches are from me trying to get it with like a razor, and that was very slow. But the pressure washer with the 0 degree tip worked really well, so I'd recommend that. And then we did a couple things, and by we I mean it was just me. There was these little brackets. I don't know what they did, but I drilled the spot welds on those and got those out. And then I trimmed these edges down so they're a lot cleaner than before. Drilled spot welds there for the old seat bracket along with the sides. Finished drilling spot welds for that little center console thing, and I recut that hole so it's a lot prettier. I'm going to make a raised cover that goes about there. And then I also have to make the cover for the firewall area. And then over here, I got the shifter on. And then I pulled this off and got rid of the heater hose line there and there. And then those welds are absolute garbage, but it'll hold water, which is all that matters. So basically this pipe used to come back here and have a bunch of stuff. I just cut it off and filled it. And then I'm gonna have to pull the engine off of this so I can weld and paint the front subframe and all that. And then also need to paint this, which is the transmission mount I made previously. And these pieces going right there. Clean it up a little bit. Then I need to replace this because when I got this from the importer, it was cracked. And that's the oil drain that goes from here down into the block. I don't know exactly what it's for, just draining oil out of the head, I guess. But I'm gonna need to replace that. And then she's just about ready to plop back in once she gets some paint. Cage is nearly all welded up, just a couple little things to go here and there. I started pulling the wiring out so I can paint it and not have to worry about that. The steering column is recentered. Originally, that right there is the mark where it originally was. I moved it to that mark just because it didn't feel right for the driver's seat. Made this little, actually I really like that. You gotta see this. Made this little guy because the transmission kind of sit a little bit pretty high up in the trans tunnel, so that will give it some space there for the shifter and whatnot. And then made the recess for the firewall pretty snazzy, I think. Made it a couple, like that little patch piece. That's where I originally cut, but that's where the gas pedal is, so I decided not to cut there. But it'll give it plenty of fucking clearance, and that'll be all seam sealed and of course painted. And then I started popping out all of these guys because I don't like when those are painted. Whenever you paint something, try to get all of those out if you can remember. And that thing's welded up for the cantilever, whatever, the suspension, lower mounting points. She's almost there. I separated the front subframe from the motor so that we could get these welded up and get everything painted. So those guys, just pressure wash the whole thing. There was a little bit of dirt here and there. It was pretty nasty. There's still a little bit of dirt there. Whatever. But got it all painted. Now I got to drop the motor on, but I'm gonna need some help because we got to shift the motor forward because we can't clear that, and I don't feel like lifting up the subframe and all that. So we'll just kind of shift the motor forward, and it'll be fine. Bolt that in. Then I got to get the trans mount. Got to get that painted. That'll just go black, just like the subframe, and a ton of other things to do. So basically all the welding is done, except I need to go pick up some 1/8 inch plate to do the bottom of those and the bottoms or the sides of those. But I'm gonna send Dante to go tomorrow because it's in Fort Collins, and Dante lives in Fort Collins. And also Dante's my bitch, so look at him. Looks like a little bitch. So I'm gonna make him go do that for me. Then I picked up some seam sealer to seal the seams. Makes sense, right? So all that's gonna get seam sealed inside and out. That's gonna get seam sealed inside and out, and then as is that. And then that will probably be it for the seam sealer. And then a lot of other stuff, you know, just 1,000 things to go. But that's it for this video because I got the final parts that I needed for this car. So I'm gonna finish this car tonight. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, drop a comment, tell me that Dante is prettier than me, and swipe right to me on Tinder.